Right. So thank you for stopping by. Tell me your name and where you're
Yeah,
from.
thank you. My name's Larry. I'm from West Virginia, so a couple hours away.
Okay. You coming for the weekend or
Yep,
you?
coming for the whole weekend. Yep, first day. My wife and I like to come out to AwesomeCon every year when we can make it, so we kind of make it a regular thing. And I'm pretty much always my wife likes to various cosplays, but I'm kind of like more a little more grounded, and
Yeah.
I like to come up in my G4 getup every
I
year.
love this. So this is why I stopped him to sit down and talk about this because of the G4 robe. It's like a smoking jacket robe, very cool thing he's got going on here, like satin. And he walked by and I went, man, I miss G4. Like, and for those of you who don't know, G4 used to be a cable channel that it was just 24/7 like nerd stuff. So they played video games and they did all sorts of stuff and talked about nerd things. So I mean, I'm assuming that you were one of the original watchers.
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, it's a little young at the time, but I remember like watching Attack of the Show before I go to off to school in the
Attack of
morning.
the Show.
Attack of the Show, X Play, like the real legends. Like not everyone might remember like G4 TV, but they remember maybe a couple of the shows they watch. Got like Kevin Pereira, Adam Sessler, like those guys that really just the heart and soul of
Yeah.
like early nerd culture back when it was still kind of like a hard thing to be sort of enthusiastically into like nerd and geek pop culture stuff back
Yeah.
when it was especially like as a kid not always a popular thing to be at
No.
the time.
Yeah, it was still
But
kind
it
of a
was
positive
always
thing.
it's always a place you can go. It's like you could be kind of be proud to be enthusiastic and interested in all these like video games or like anime, any kind of things in that culture at the time. So yeah, it was a big thing growing up. I was always a big fan of that network and the shows and things and all this that what I got with this get up is a few years ago when they had like a short-lived run for a few years back around COVID time.
Yep.
They did come back. I was pretty interested in it at the time. I think they did well. They had few good things going, but this whole bunch of like things were happening behind the scenes. It just led to ultimately kind of getting shut down a lot earlier than I expected. But at the time, yeah, I was able to pick up a lot of this stuff. This get up mostly like actually won it in a contest that they were running offhand. So this stuff is actually like really rare. Like only a couple of people, not even a lot of like the employees have some of this stuff.
That's very
And
cool,
so
man.
it's I always like to just kind of not I'm not too like outgoing or outspoken, but I like it's kind of the niche of like kind of walking around with G4 stuff because
For
I
sure.
get some interesting interactions, but at the same time it's I kind of fly under the radar most
You,
of the time.
you're making memories pop into people's heads
Yeah.
when you're walking. I've just noticed the sleeves. It says never stop playing.
Yep, yeah, never. That was the big thing that they came back with when they had that short-lived run because that was
Yeah.
always like one of their original kind of taglines is just never stop playing. And then when they brought it back, they're like we coming back because we never stopped the whole time. And so that was a big thing at the time. But yeah, I got the with the robe and all this stuff. It's I've had a lot of like nice and interesting interactions come up to. Actually, last year I had a guy. I was stopped by a guy who was talking to me about wearing this stuff, and he said he was actually one of the executive producers on X Play, and he was
Wow.
like, and that was like just this crazy thing at the time because I never expected to really run into anybody that was connected to any of the
That's
G4
cool.
shows because
Did you
I'm just
pick
a
his brain at all? Like,
yeah, it's I wanted to more. I was kind of like con life. I was kind of always
sure.
running to something else, but it was just a really cool interaction. It's like someone just was kind of blown away that anyone else would not only still remember any of that and kind of keep it close to their hearts, but also just kind of come out in this public space and just have this like big fleck flying.
Sure.
Like I'm a huge fan of what you worked on, and so it was a cool experience at the time. But yeah,
And I'm sure
overall,
he loved that,
yeah,
right?
but overall, I just yeah, it's a really I think it's a really interesting and unique part of the sort of nerd and geek culture
Yeah,
because it was kind of it was in a lot of ways it was a little ahead of its time, but also it sort of
I believe that.
kickstarted like it was kind of at the forefront of this shift in society as far as like the opinions towards that kind of culture
For sure.
to where it became something less to make fun of by people that just didn't understand it to a little more of a change in kind of like tolerance and understanding and just like
Absolutely.
this is not something to like be ashamed of or to make fun of. This is something like you're enthusiastic about these things and it's cool. It's fun. It's okay to like it. And
Yeah.
I think it's a and G4 I think was a big part of kind of getting that out to like the mass media appeal and not like mass media, but just
It was
kind
mass
of
enough.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
mass enough, kind of big enough, sort
Yeah.
of. riding the wave. I mean, back in the days, you know, they did all that stuff with like E3, going to the conventions. They did a lot of Comic-Con stuff too.
Yep.
Really kind of getting that out there and really sort of publicizing that this is what being in that culture is about, and it's okay to like it.
Of course,
I was always a big fan of that sort of message.
I think that G4 had a lot to do with legitimizing, that it's okay to be a nerd.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
think
it's
great.
more than what people think of it.
Mhm.
It's deeper, it's more in depth. Yeah, absolutely. Um, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. I
Happy
love
to.
this robe.
Yeah, I
and
appreciate the call out. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to be here and just kind of represent. Like I think it did really great thing to shift their perspective
Love it.
of what it's like to be enthusiastic, to be kind of a nerd or geek. Like it's not a label or to be ashamed of or an insult. It's like it's cool to just
I
enjoy the
100%
culture.
agree with you, and I think
it's-
everybody in
yeah.
this room agrees with you.
Yeah.
So you hear that, G4 people? We remember
Yeah,
you. We
that's
still
right.
love you. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
very much.